Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome back everyone. In this part we will focus on the speed and maybe we take a little bit idea about the speed when we saw the video about the Bugatti car speed up by using the timer or using time, if you remember. So we need two things to understand more about the speed. You can understand that from here, these pictures as you see here, we can know if we know the distance and know the time, both of them will explain for us the speed. Okay, so let's explain and focus more about the distance and time before speak about the speed. Now distance at first is how far the object is. Maybe we take an idea about the distance before. If we know that the space between two objects, now we are talking about this space or distance. If you look out for this picture here, as you see here, we have 187 kilometers. Of course, the space between 2 points here, that is the distance. We can measure the distance by units of kilometers, meters, centimeters, miles. All of that are the units of the distance. So you can understand more and you can measure the distance of unit of kilometers, meters, centimeters, miles, and the unit is so important to understand about the distance. What about the time? Okay, and if you look over the time is the period for do something. Okay, now when you spend some time with your family or when you spend some time with your teacher in the class and like that, so now you spend a period of time. That is the time. Okay, so you can measure the time by unit of hours, minutes, seconds, days, months, like that. Okay, now all of that are time units. Okay, okay, now let's explain more about the speed. Speed is how fast the object is. That is the speed. You can understand the speed very well when you look over to for the car move in very high speed and another car slow down or like that. Okay. Now to calculate the distance over time, now you calculate the speed. Let's look over for the formula of the speed. Distance divided by the time. We can measure the speed by this way. We can make symbols for each one to understand more about that. If we make S, it for speed, S, this for speed, and distance, we make it D, distance, and time, we make it T. So the formula is S equals D divided by T. That is the formula of speed. We can make it in the triangle like that. Some of you like to answer the questions by this way. So the distance will be here and the speed times time will be there. How can we use this triangle method? In this case, we will use it like that. Here we make divided by, and here also we make divided by, and here we make it multiply. What I mean? Now I mean that if we use the, if he ask about the speed, for example, in the question, you will cover the speed by your hand or by anything else. Okay, you cover the speed like that. Okay, so the speed equals distance over time. Okay, now if we need to use, if he asks you about the distance, for example, in the question, you will cover the distance. So the distance equals speed times time, like that. Okay, if he asks about the time in other questions, you can answer the problem by cover the time and make distance over speed, like that. Okay, so you can understand by this way, and we will answer a lot of questions and a lot of problems about that. But let's take the symbols to one at first, and after that take the someone else ask about distance or time by this way. Okay, now here, okay, now when you read the problem about the speed, you should to focus on the unit. Okay, sorry again. You should to focus on the unit. Unit is so important to understand about what he talked about. He talked about speed, talked about distance, talked about time. You should to focus on the unit. Okay. If you look over the distance, you can see that distance all time measured by kilometer, meters, mile, like that. Time all time measured by hours, H means hours, minute, M-I-M means minute, and like that. seconds, S means seconds or like that. Okay, all of that, now he talk about the time. What about the speed? The speed, all time you can see that bear, meter per second, kilometer per hour, okay, mile per hour, like that, or mph, all of them true, okay, or kbh, also kilometer per hour. Okay, so when you see this bear, when you see this slash here, I mean bear, quickly it will be the unit of speed. Be careful. Okay, now let's answer some problems. Look over this one, for example. Now, a person walked 10 miles. So when you see miles, of course, that is what? That is distance. Great. Now, it took them 2 hours. So he talked about time. How fast? So he asked about speed. What is the speed? By very simple way, speed equals a distance divided by time. Be careful, move by steps. Move by steps. Maybe you start with this. You can write the formula at first, and after that read the question and write above each number what is that. This is this distance or time or what. Okay. Third step, to substitute. Now, how much distance that we have here? We have 10 miles. Okay, and how much time, how much hours that we have? 2 hours. Okay, this is the third step we have. Okay, the fourth step after that we just divide. Now 10 over 2 equals 5 mile per hour. mph means mile per hour. This is the unit of speed. That is the right answer. Okay guys, like that. Let's answer another problem. Okay, now if you have a runner move for 10 meters, now this is the 10 meters, we can write the formula at first. Speed equals the distance divided by time. Now these 10 meters, this is the distance, and here 5 seconds, that is the time. Okay, he asked about the speed, so the distance is 10 meters, okay, divided by 5 seconds. Don't forget the units, please. The unit is so important. Okay, now 10 divided by 5 equals 2 meters per second. 2 meters per second. This is the answer. Okay. Okay, now that's your turn to answer any other questions. You can make them all by the same way. You can write the formula. Excuse me. Now you can write the formula and write the every unit that we have here, and after that you just substitute and write all numbers about each one of them. Okay, that's so clear. You just need to practice a lot about these questions, and we will practice again in next session, inshallah, about speed and about if we ask about another one like the distance or time or like that. Okay. Okay guys, now as you see here, this that is the activity ask you about the units. Okay, to understand more about the units, you can answer this one. Okay, now which one refers to distance, which one refers to time or speed or like that. I tell you before, when you see the slash, quickly it will be the speed. So all of them are speed. These kilometer per hour speed, mile per hour speed, meter per second speed, like that. Okay, but of course this one is time, and also minute is time, but meters of course distance. Okay, so this practice will allow you to understand more about the unit.